Hello, everyone, and the Soulful Goddess. I hope you are having a fantastic Monday. I want to invite you to join me in a beautiful technique on our Mind Monday, which is called Havening, and we're going to incorporate that with breath work. So Havening is a technique that uses a range of touches to the upper body and really involves calmness, breathing, and touch. It can also even involve counting at times. It can involve visualization and even eye movements. It really just depends on who is facilitating it. This approach with Havening, especially combined with the breath work, really helps a person be able to cope with trauma, anxiety, stress, and physical pain. This practice focuses heavily on self-compassion, kindness, and self-care, and of course, self-awareness. So what I love about it the most, especially for any of my clients I'm personally working with that are going through trauma, is it really helps you feel calm and the client feel calm, safe, and feel compassion for yourself, others, and the situation that you're in that might be making you feel in that moment that the situation is bigger than you. Havening is a form of soothing and self-soothing. And it really helps you to be able to rely on yourself to comfort yourself in your times of need. So what I want you to do before we get into this practice is just go ahead and get comfortable in your chair and just follow along with me as we will practice before we do our own set. So I invite you to copy my movements and find a mantra that you want to recite as you breathe in and breathe out when we get started on our set. And I also want to invite you to pay attention to what your body responds the most to. You might want a little bit more pressure on the touches. You might want it a little bit softer. This is your practice, so just make it your own. So let's go ahead and get started. So I want you to begin by just rubbing the palms together by holding the hands upright. And you're going to allow the fingertips to gently just greet the back of the knuckles, going back and forth. And just allow the hand to land where it feels the most soothing for you. It might be midway down the elbow. It might be all the way down to the back of the elbow. This is your practice. So this is the very first technique in Havening. If this is not comfortable for you in your shoulders, you can always move the hands to a horizontal position and stroke the palms in a fashion to whatever is best for you and whatever you prefer. So once again, we're just going to practice this before we make it our own. And then when you get comfortable in doing that, the second form of Havening is to touch the arms. So what we do is we start at the right shoulder blade, work your way down, all the way down to the hand, and then move to the other shoulder. So some people prefer to do it this way. Some people prefer to do it one arm at a time. You just do what is most comfortable for you. If you're going to do one arm at a time, I do prefer doing this when I have like a tank top on or something where I can actually physically feel my skin and it feel a little bit more comfortable, or a fabric that feels softer to the touch. So that's the second form of Havening. And the third is to touch the face. So you go below the hairline with the fingertips. You want to make sure that your hands are clean as we're touching our face, but you're just going to go below the hairline and gently go over the brows like so. And then you'll move down and you'll just gently touch the face. I love doing this one where I take my fingertips, I go over the third eye and go down my nose. And then I sometimes even go over my lip and down my neck. So once you have gotten comfortable with this, I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes and find the techniques use the techniques in the order that feels the best to you and start to incorporate it with your breath. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and take 10 breaths together and incorporate Havening with that breath. begin now. Just continue to make this breath your own. And whenever you've gotten done with all 10 breaths, I want to invite you to do 10 more. Notice whatever you're feeling, whatever sensations are coming up. And I really love to spend time on my eyebrow, as this is my intuitive center and your intuitive center. And it's also where we hold a lot of repressed emotions if we were not able to express our emotions as a child. The forehead also is if we struggled with feeling intellectual or feeling that we were not smart enough as a child, we tend to store a lot of resentment in the forehead against ourselves. So this is a great one to really just get all that emotion out if that's something you experience. I also love to go around the eyes and softly over the eyelids, as the eyes really show not only how you see the world, but also is how you internally see yourself. It's the windows to your soul. It's also sometimes what we refuse to see. So we can sometimes have a lot of pain and exhaustion in the eyes. The nose is related to the heart. This is also, of course, our sense of smell, but to even where we hold emotions with self recognition and even sexual tension can all be around the nose and the sinus area. The mouth, if you have issues around the mouth, this is where a lot of us hold emotions on how we take in nourishment, if we feel nourished in our life, if we feel secure, our capacity to really even take in new ideas. And the jaw is where so many of us hold tension. And this, if you feel a lot of tension in your jaw, indicates that there's probably an emotional blockage with how you communicate, or you may even have a fear of expressing yourself. Your face holds a lot of tension and has a lot of meridians in the face, because this is where we hold a lot of mask, right? The mask that we put onto the world, the mask that we put onto ourselves, our personality, and so many things. I also like havening over the ears. Our ears are so sensitive, but this has a lot of emotions where honestly related to the whole body, but it's also the voices that we tend to continue to play in our head, things that we're unwilling to hear or unwilling to accept. So we can hold a lot of emotion in there. So it's just great to just haven around the ears. Your throat, of course, is your communication center. If you were allowed to express yourself, if you ever really felt heard as a child or as an adult. And then your neck. It just holds so much emotions as it tends to hold the head. And if we have all that stored in the head, right? Imagine the pressure that's put on by the neck. It also holds a lot of tension with the throat. And then the shoulders. This is where we carry our burdens that we put on ourselves to the outer world and our own inner world. The chest, all about grief. We hold a lot of grief here, a lot of loss here, and a lot of pent up anger or unsolved emotions and unrepressed emotions or repressed emotions when it comes to love and relationships, especially the relationship we have with ourselves. So as you can see, these areas would hold a ton of emotion, and just spending 5 to 10 minutes breathing in them and touching them, you're going to have a tremendous result of just feeling lighter and more free afterwards. So I'm going to be quiet as I just let you continue to haven yourself for just a few more minutes. Just remembering to breathe into your own touch, breathe into your own power. Two more. One more. Just taking this last moment to wrap up your breath. And allow yourself to spend time in your own gratitude, thanking yourself for showing up today. I hope this practice has helped soothe your soul just a little bit, as it has definitely soothed mine and soothes mine. Have a great day, everyone. Namaste.